All right, let's talk about something that's on pretty much every cloud engineer's mind, getting a handle on your AWS costs. It's time to stop being surprised by that monthly bill and start being strategic, saving some serious money without messing with your performance. Okay, let's jump right in. You know that feeling? You open your AWS bill and it's a mix of confusion and maybe a little bit of panic. If that's you, you are definitely not alone. The cloud is incredibly powerful, but that pay-as-you-go model can get complex and sometimes, yeah, shockingly expensive. But the good news is you absolutely can control it. And that's what we're going to break down right now.
So first things first. We're going for the biggest wins right out of the gate. And that means looking at your compute pricing. How you actually pay for your EC2 instances. That's where the most impactful savings are hiding. So let's start there.
So you've basically got this fundamental trade-off. On demand, that's your flexible, no commitment, pay by the second option. It's great for spiky, unpredictable workloads. But then for your apps that are always on, your steady state stuff, you can commit to a 1 or 3 year reserved instance and get a massive discount. And then there's Spot. This is AWS's spare capacity, which they sell off at a huge discount. The catch? They can take it back with short notice. So it's perfect for jobs that can handle being interrupted.
And when I say the savings are significant, I mean it. We are not talking about small change here. A reserved instance can slash your costs by up to 72% compared to on-demand. And if your workload is fault-tolerant, Spot instances can save you a mind-blowing 90%. 90! But here's the secret sauce. The smartest people don't just pick one model and stick with it. No. The real pro move is to create a portfolio. You run your core, stable database on a reserved instance. Use a blend of on-demand and Spot for your web fleet to handle traffic spikes. And you run your big data processing jobs entirely on Spot. You see? It's all about matching the pricing model to the workload's personality. Okay, next up, let's talk about your data. Because not all data is created equal, right? Some of it you need in a millisecond. That's your hot data. But some of it you might not look at for years. That's cold data. And paying the same high price for both is just throwing money away.
This is where S3 lifecycle policies become your absolute best friend. Seriously, you just set up a few simple rules, and AWS automatically moves your data to cheaper storage tiers as it gets older. It starts out hot in S3 standard, then it cools off into infrequent access, and finally it gets archived in deep free storage like Glacier. The best part? It's all automated. You set it once, and it just saves you money. And hey, let's not forget about the hard drives for your instances, EBS. Here are 3 super quick wins. Number 1, if you're still on GP2 volumes, switch to GP3. It's a no-brainer. You actually get better performance for less money. Number 2, this is a classic mistake. When you terminate an instance, the EBS volume attached to it doesn't get deleted automatically, so you have to go hunt down those forgotten, orphaned volumes. And finally, clean up your old snapshots. They're backups, yeah, but they're not free. Okay, let's dive into one of the sneakiest, most misunderstood costs in the cloud: data transfer. These little charges can add up and bite you, so it's so important to know how to design your network to stop the bleeding. You can really see the difference here between the expensive path and the smart path. Every time your data hits the public internet, you pay. Every time it crosses between different availability zones, you pay. To fix this, you use VPC endpoints to keep traffic on the private AWS backbone. You design your services to talk to each other inside the same AZ. And you use a CDN like CloudFront to cache content close to your users so you're not constantly pulling it across the globe. This is a rule to live by. I'm going to say it again. Data transfer within the same availability zone is free. Designing for locality isn't just a good practice for performance, it's a direct cost-saving strategy. Burn this into your brain every time you architect something new. Now, of course, you can't fix what you can't see. So let's shift gears and talk about the amazing tools AWS gives you. These are what give you that full visibility and control over what you're spending. Just think of these 4 as your personal cost control panel. Each one has a different job, but they all work together to help you see what's happening, get alerts, find savings, and optimize your setup. Let's do a quick flyby of each one. So AWS Cost Explorer. This is your financial detective. It's the tool that lets you dig in and see exactly where the money is going. You can slice and dice your costs by service, by tag, by account, whatever you want. It's how you finally get the answer to, what on earth did I spend all that money on last month? If Cost Explorer is the detective looking at the past, AWS Budgets is your fortune teller, preventing future pain. You create a budget, say, I don't want to spend more than $500 on EC2 this month. If the system sees you're on track to blow past that, it shoots you an alert. This is how you stop those heart attack-inducing bills at the end of the month. Trusted Advisor is kind of like having an automated consultant. It constantly scans your account and flags easy wins like, hey, you have an EC2 instance that's been idle for 2 weeks, or you have this EBS volume that's not attached to anything. It points out what you're paying for, but not actually using. And for more sophisticated advice, like finding the perfect size for your active instances, you'll want to use its partner, AWS Compute Optimizer. All right, for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. Because really, the most powerful and sustainable savings don't come from cleaning things up later. They come from building cost awareness into your architecture from the very first line of code. Principle number 1, right size. Don't just guess what capacity you need and end up over-provisioning a huge, expensive machine. That's the old way. The cloud way is to use tools like autoscaling to dynamically add and remove servers based on actual demand, and use Compute Optimizer to analyze your usage and tell you, hey, you could run this workload on a smaller, cheaper instance.
Principle number 2, use a cache. And use it aggressively. Think about it. Every single request you can serve from a fast, cheap cache, like CloudFront or Elasticache, is a request that your expensive backend servers and databases don't have to touch. Less work for them means less cost for you. It's that direct.
And principle number 3, decouple. Instead of building these giant monolithic applications where everything has to be running and scaled together, break them into smaller, independent services. Think of them like Lego blocks. Use tools like SQS queues or EventBridge to have them talk to each other. This lets you scale and pay for each piece independently, which is way, way more efficient. And let's not forget this number. This is what's possible when you bring it all together. Smart architecture like right sizing and decoupling, plus the right pricing models we talked about at the start, saving up to 90% isn't some crazy marketing claim. It's genuinely achievable. So here it is, your Save Smart checklist. Mix and match your pricing models. Put your storage tiering on autopilot. Keep a close eye on your data transfer. Use the tools AWS gives you to see everything. And maybe most importantly, always architect for cost right from the beginning. We've covered a ton of ground here, from big picture architecture down to specific settings. So I'll leave you with a challenge. Based on everything you've just heard, what is the one single thing you can go and do in your AWS account to save some money today? Thanks for joining me.